Good evening, YouTube family. What's going on? So before I get into this, supposedly the US logged 1 million virus cases. I believe this was today. Yes, it was today. So I'm going to get into this a little bit. I'm not going to go too much into detail because I seem to have become a favorite target of YouTube and such. So I will say this before I begin. For those of you who aren't familiar with my stance on these things, aren't familiar with my personality, so to speak, just watch this and we'll be right back. All right, so let's get into this really quick. I'm just going to play this. It's only 52 seconds long, so I'm just going to play this so y'all can hear what they're saying.
It's a mind-blowing number, but is that even the full scale of what could be present in the United States? Tim?
Yeah, it's truly, after 2 years of obsessing over case numbers around the world, to see 1 million in one country in one day is mind-blowing, I think, for a lot of people. But to your point, a lot of people think this might be undercounting what is actually out there. These do not include a lot of the take-home self-tests that tons of people in the U.S. are using and making decisions based about whether to go to work or not on the results of. And that is, because people with Omicron, a silver lining here is that for most people, the disease is proving to be milder. Some people are testing positive and not feeling that bad.
All right, so I'm going to stop it right there. But listen, we got to be honest with ourselves, okay? There's a reason that this thing is spreading out of control. And I know the politicians are busy trying to pit the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated, the Republicans versus the Democrats. They're all in your heads. They're convincing you that they have to think for you because you can't think for yourselves. But it's a bunch of nonsense. In the very beginning, when they were proposing this lockdown, a lot of people were saying, well, we should get locked down, but then there was a lot of fighting that we shouldn't get locked down. But if you think about it, the virus wouldn't have been spreading so long and so far. The reach wouldn't be so far if we had been serious about it in the beginning. But at the beginning, everyone was more concerned about what the Republicans said versus what the Democrats said. I find the whole thing ridiculous. It's actually frightening that this many people can't think for themselves, and so many others have found it so easy to manipulate the masses, most of the people in the country. It's just ridiculous. Everyone was trying to travel for Thanksgiving or Christmas, which I understand. Don't get me wrong. You want to see family. True. But do you really want to risk infecting your family? Do you really want to risk your family coming to see you and passing through some states that maybe put them at a higher risk than other states do? I don't think that people were really thinking things through. They were mainly thinking that no one can tell them what to do. The politicians can't tell them what to do. They should be able to do what they want. I find that ridiculous. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of you are not going to agree with me, and that's fine. I simply don't care. But what I'm saying is, I think that as adults in this country, we should be able to be a lot more responsible and take care of our families and make better decisions. I mean, it's ridiculous. 95% of the new virus, or the new infections rather, are supposedly the Omicron. Okay. Now, the Omicron variant, some people say it's worse. Some people say it's not so bad. The original doctor from South Africa, when she first announced this, she was saying that this is a lot less harsh than previous variants.
The South African doctor who first spotted the new COVID-19 variant Omicron, Dr. Angelique Coetzee, says the United Kingdom is panicking unnecessarily. She describes the symptoms of the highly mutated variant, which has sparked global panic over fears that it's more contagious than other strains, as, quote, extremely mild. Dr. Angelique says the patients she has seen so far have had extremely mild symptoms, but more time is needed before experts can know the seriousness of the disease for vulnerable people.
So interesting enough, the people that we are now seeing, I think after the shock that there's a new variant and it's got 30 plus mutations, whatever it means to the average person out there, and then noticing that, you know, they really don't get that sick. And they're happy and I'm happy.
They're happy.
We're all happy because really, if you have been...
Now, again, I'm not a doctor. I have no idea whether or not they're telling the truth. Some people think they are, some people think they're not. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but that's just what it is, an opinion. I don't work in the medical field, and I'm sure a lot of you don't work in the medical field, and some of you do. So if we would get the politicians out of our heads and start thinking about ourselves and start thinking about the future of the people in this country who have to live and interact with each other, I think we'd be better off. But the problem is, for many of you, you spend all your time watching Fox News or MSNBC or some of these other pieces of trash, and you allow them to get into your head and get you all worked up to the point where you only believe your favorite politician and you don't want to believe anything else, even though the facts are there. I mean, if you really think about it, some of these people going out into public and they are just, I don't know if it's more so embarrassing themselves or if it's a reflection of the embarrassment that's bestowed upon the entire country. Just watch this nonsense.
Tell me how you cough on people again. Go ahead. So you're in the store complaining that people aren't wearing masks, correct? Are you hiding now? And you want to say that you're going to fucking cough on me? You're going to cough on me. You're going to cough on me?
She'll be up here in a minute.
Thank you. So now you have nothing to say because you're sitting here with your middle finger up, blocking your face because you're a coward. Yeah, I'm laughing at you because you're a pussy. And you think you have the right to take your mask off to get everyone else sick. Meanwhile, you just threatened to fucking cough on me during a global pandemic. Are you for real? Is that funny? You're funny. It's super funny. I swear to God, if you...
Now, let's stop right here for a minute. Now, first and foremost, you can do what you want. Okay, understandable. A lot of people would say, I can do what I want. You know, this is America. No one can tell us what to do. That's fine. But you don't have the right to assault anyone. And granted, yes, she didn't hit her, but she hit her phone. Now, I know how some of you are very protective over your devices. I myself am protective over my device. And in this particular situation, I don't think I'd be standing there trying to argue with somebody who's clearly got breathtaking levels of ignorance. I would probably just leave her the hell alone, let her do what the hell she wants, as long as she doesn't touch me. Now, if I'm minding my own business and I'm trying to walk away and she tries to stop my phone out of my hand, then yes, I'm going to smash her phone into a lot of different pieces. But, you know, let's continue with the video.
touch me again, I will knock you out. I will knock you out. I will knock you out. You think you will? You're disrespectful to everyone else in this store. The entitlement is disgusting.
Yes, I am entitled. I'm white. I'm a woman.
You're white and you're a woman?
Yes, I'm entitled.
Oh, you're a white woman. Oh my God. Welcome to privilege.
Yep, exactly.
What does you being white have to do with you being able to get your way?
Because I'm a white woman. That's what happens.
You're a disgusting, racist piece of trash, literally.
I believe in white power.
All right, I want to stop right there. This is ridiculous. So she's basically using the whole mask mandate nonsense as a vehicle to spread her racism everywhere she goes. Like I said, she's ignorant. You can tell she's ignorant. It's just ridiculous. She's going out specifically to try to get under people's skin. Anyways, let's continue. So this is a similar situation, you know, and listen, I'm not trying to just find videos of angry white women or angry white people, but when you look for this type of content, this is pretty much what's showing up more than not. I mean, come on.
Oh, no, you're discriminating against me. I need to breathe air. Yeah. No.
Already did. They're on their way.
Okay. All right. You don't have no balls. You're a little bitch. Because you have the law on your side to protect and not discriminate against people. And you do not have the law on your side to discriminate. No, I'm not breaking the law. I have the rights. Code 51. Yeah, this is America. It's America. Little no ball having bitch. Oh, you go. Get the away from me. Get out of my face and get the out of my face and I'll eat. Okay. You know what I love? I love you to grow some balls and stand up for people. Stand up for their narrative. Yeah.
All right. So again, foolishness, nothing but foolishness. At least in this case, she wasn't being overly racist, but she's being, well, I'm not going to say anything else. I'm not going to say anything. This is so the first video was 2020. This one was 2021. But you're seeing a pattern. These people are going out specifically to cause trouble in these public establishments. And we're overlooking the fact that there is a virus out there. The virus is ravaging people. Why aren't we being safe? Why are we more focused on the talking points from the politicians rather than trying to keep ourselves safe, trying to get the virus under control? If we would just stop and think for a moment before we started listening to our evil overlords, I think we could make progress with not just the virus, but also getting along with each other. This is only going to get worse before it gets better. And my fear is that it's going to get to the point where these people are going to get what they want, an all-out war across the country between the people and the politicians. So the last thing I want to touch on is the political nonsense, right? How Americans view Biden's response to the coronavirus crisis, which this is just ridiculous because right here, they're already baiting you into Trump, Biden, Trump, Biden. It doesn't make a difference. The agenda is the same. They just go about it differently. They only care about themselves. And on one hand, they play the left against the right. On the other hand, they play the right against the left. I don't see a difference. But this right here is just nonsense. I mean, and you see the numbers flip. Basically, Democrats are for Biden, Republicans are for Trump. Wow. How shocking. Now, this one here, I personally think that this is skewed because as I go out every single day, from what I'm seeing everywhere around me, it seems like most people don't care and are not worried about the infection. Simply not. Everywhere I go, there's people gathering together. There's people in large crowds. And it's kind of ridiculous. You know, I'm trying to avoid all of that. When the stores are too full, I don't go in, you know, but I've noticed a huge spike in people who decided that they don't need to wear a mask at all. And I think what's happening is when people get vaccinated, they have this sense of invincibility and they feel that they can do whatever they want and go wherever they want because the vaccine will protect them without realizing that they can still get infected and they can still die. Granted, it may be at a lower percentage, but why would you want to risk that at all? It doesn't make sense to me. Really doesn't. If you know a building is on fire, just because you sprayed water on yourself doesn't mean you're not going to burn. It just takes a little bit longer for you to ignite. And as far as the economy goes, again, I don't really see people worried about the economy. There's a lot of new cars out there, a lot of new trucks out there. The politicians are still as greedy as ever. The banks are still as greedy as ever. All the money is going to the ultra wealthy and it's still being taken away from those of us who don't have a lot. So that really hasn't changed much. So I don't know where this is eventually going to go, I don't know where it's going to lead. I'm just concerned that the country has lost its way. It really makes no sense to me at all. Anyways, I'm going to go. You all have a great evening, morning, wherever you're listening to this. Catch you next time.